Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're a corporate leader, an executive, or a strategic planner, you are currently standing right at the edge of the most expensive technological arms race in history. Today, we're unpacking some recent insights from Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates to help you separate the true infrastructural risks of artificial intelligence from the everyday market hype. We're going to look strictly at the data, the physical constraints, and the macroeconomic forces that will ultimately dictate whether your AI investments over the next 5 years yield unprecedented returns or just turn into massive capital black holes.
We have a highly structured agenda today to help you navigate these massive capital expenditures. We're covering 1. Defining the AI bubble. 2. The infrastructure capital gamble. 3. The energy community risk. And 4. Workforce and policy uncertainties. Let's dive right in. Section 1. Defining the AI bubble, hype versus profound change. Right off the bat, the very first thing every single boardroom is trying to figure out is whether this current AI frenzy is just an unsustainable bubble. To really understand this, let's look at a simple historical comparison. When people hear the word bubble, they almost always think of the Dutch tulip craze of the 1600s, right? Pure hype, where everyone eventually woke up and realized, wait, there's actually nothing there? Well, Gates points out that AI is absolutely not a Dutch tulip scenario. Instead, it's much closer to the internet bubble of the late 90s and early 2000s. Think back to that era for a second. The internet undeniably caused profound societal change and created highly valuable global infrastructure. But at the exact same time, the market was absolutely flooded with Me Too companies that just burned through massive amounts of capital and ultimately became dead ends. And that is exactly the dual reality we're facing with AI right now. You have this profound, world-changing utility running side by side with massive capital waste.
So to understand why so much capital is flowing so quickly, we have to acknowledge his core premise. The underlying economic value of this intelligence is historically unprecedented. I mean, when a guy who literally pioneered the personal computing revolution says this is the biggest technical thing ever in his lifetime, leaders really have to pay attention. The core product here isn't just another software tool, it's intelligence itself.
Moving to Section 2, the infrastructure capital gamble, chips and data centers. Let's see how this immense technological value translates into an incredibly risky infrastructure race.
Because AI can generate massive economic value through incredibly complex use cases, we're talking about synthesizing novel drug designs, offering highly accurate medical advice, or providing globally accessible personalized tutoring, tech companies are desperately rushing to build the digital foundation. The potential applications are so highly valued that the underlying infrastructure to run them has essentially become the most sought-after real estate in the entire tech world.
Now, what's really fascinating about this is the sheer scale of the gamble taking place. As Gates notes, executives are authorizing massive financial commitments to chip makers and data centers long before they're actually realizing any profits on the AI itself. They're looking at projected future demand and just deciding, you know what, the math makes sense. It's like they're building a massive stadium, just hoping the fans eventually show up to buy the tickets. But man, that requires a massive upfront capital burn.
And here's the crucial point. These massive bets face immediate physical and strategic risks that could easily turn them into those dead ends we discussed with the internet bubble. Let's say you commit billions to a new data center. What happens if local electricity suddenly becomes too expensive to run it profitably? Or what if you're completely undercut by cheaper overseas computational competition? And here is perhaps the most terrifying risk for any CFO. What if you buy a massive generation of highly expensive chips, but you aren't able to capture their full value before the next, significantly faster generation arrives and completely obsoletes your hardware?
But here is the harsh strategic reality of the whole situation. Despite the severe danger of burning through billions of dollars on rapid hardware cycles or expensive power, Gates is incredibly clear about one thing. Sitting on the sidelines is simply not an option for any serious tech organization. You do not get to just say no and casually check out of this race. If you step back, you risk total irrelevance. You are forced to play the game, which means you've got to get exceptionally good at navigating the physical roadblocks we're about to discuss.
Which brings us perfectly into Section 3. The energy community risk, powering the ambition. This is where digital ambition violently crashes into real-world physical constraints.
It is literally the multi-billion-dollar question. Where is all the massive amounts of power needed to run these vast AI data centers actually going to come from? As you plan new infrastructure, you have to solve this immediately. And it's not just a technical problem, it is very much a social one.
Local communities are actively fighting new data center infrastructure right now because they legitimately fear that drawing that much energy from the local grid is going to drive up their own residential power bills. The tech industry absolutely does not have the social permission to raise a local resident's electricity cost just to power an AI server.
To solve this, Gates points to localized, next-generation nuclear solutions, like TerraPower, as an absolute necessity. The strategy here is hyper-specific. These reactors have to be placed in locations where both the economics and the political acceptance are extremely strong. They have to be engineered and financed specifically to provide dedicated power to data centers without passing a single cent of that cost burden onto the local community. It requires a totally new approach to corporate energy generation.
And this brilliantly illustrates a major structural shift. Historically, when large power infrastructure like nuclear was built, the local utility company bore all the massive financial liability and risk. Gates is explicit here. That old business model will not be repeated. Tech companies, because they are so incredibly hungry for power, will likely have to shoulder much more of that infrastructural and financial burden themselves. You can't just plug into the grid anymore and expect the utility to handle all the heavy lifting.
Finally, Section 4. Workforce and policy uncertainties, the macro environment. We need to analyze the macroeconomic headwinds of workforce disruption and government intervention.
First up is the workforce. Now, while we haven't seen massive job displacement in large numbers just yet, Gates insists that significant impacts on the job market are totally inevitable over the next several years. Leaders have to be strictly honest and frank about this impending disruption. There's a real fear out there that talking openly about job losses might trigger regulations that could slow down U.S. momentum in the global AI race, but transparency really is the only sustainable path forward to prepare society and the corporate workforce for what's coming.
Furthermore, there's the whole issue of industrial policy and business predictability. Look at it this way. In an ideal environment, you have pure predictability, assurances like known tariffs and equal treatment over 20 years to build a chip factory. But as Gates points out, the current reality is dangerously unclear. The government is taking ownership stakes in certain nascent technologies, like rare earth and chip companies. And from a strictly impartial business standpoint, this raises a huge risk. If the government owns a piece of a company, are they going to favor that company for grants and contracts, even if a competitor has better technology? It creates an unpredictable environment where companies might start focusing more on getting to the front of the line for government money than on pure innovation.
So, what does this all mean for you? We've covered the reality of the bubble, the massive capital risks of hardware, the grid limitations, and these shifting macro policies. As you review your own capital allocation after this explainer, you really have to look closely at these intersecting risks. Are you building the necessary infrastructure of tomorrow, or are you simply buying expensive chips that will be totally obsolete in a year, housed in data centers that you can't even afford to power? Ask yourself, is your strategy genuinely built for the long haul, or are you just burning cash in the frenzy? Thank you for learning with us today. Analyze your math, watch the power grid, and plan for the long term.